Since the very first Civilization game published in 1991, Russia has been a mainstay in the series, being included in every single vanilla release. Fans of the channel may have noted that my girlfriend is Russian, and she is fiercely proud of that fact. She is an amazing woman who I feel I am, even after more than 4 years together, still getting to know. We come from different worlds, see the world differently, and have differing points of view that can often be at odds with one another. Still, we're human and we love each other. Since we've been together, I have traveled to Russia every year since 2022. But my visits to Russia start before she and I met, beginning with the World Cup in 2018 that Russia hosted. So, for this episode, let's take a look at Russia, how it has been portrayed in the Civilization series, and what it's really like to visit Russia today. Welcome to Beyond Civilization Stories, where we explore the world beyond the lens of the world's most addictive video game. Joseph Stalin, Catherine the Great, and Peter the Great have all appeared as leaders in the Civilization video games. Catherine has appeared 4 times, Stalin and Peter twice each. Although leader traits and abilities have changed and evolved over the course of each subsequent game in the series, one ever-present characteristic tied to Russia has been its unique unit, the Cossack, that has shown up in just about every single game in the series. If you ask my girlfriend where the Turks come from, she'll tell you that they originated out of the Altai region, a province of modern Russia bordering eastern Kazakhstan and northwestern China and Mongolia. The term Cossack actually comes from the Turkic Kazakh, meaning freeman or adventurer. The Cossacks were a group of semi-nomadic peoples who roamed the frontiers near the Baltic states and Ottoman empires. With no centralized control, many groups evolved during the 14th and 15th centuries. Their autonomy gradually faded away as Russia modernized, and they eventually came to represent the elite cavalry force in the Russian army. Today, the Cossacks remain part of Russian folklore. World wonders from Russia that have appeared in the Civilization video games include the Kremlin from Civs 4 and 5. In Civ 6, the Hermitage graduated from being a national wonder to a full world wonder. Civ 6 also included among its wonders St. Basil's Cathedral and the Bolshoi Theater. Since Civ 6 is the primary focus of this channel, and where a Civ's uniqueness in the Civilization series is most well-formed, let's take a quick look at Peter and Russia from Civ 6. Once again, the Cossack is center stage as a cavalry replacement. It gets +5 strength compared to the unit it replaces. They also get a further +5 strength when fighting in or next to home territory. As cavalry units, they are swift and fierce and great for pillaging enemy territory. Peter's unique ability is a bit of a strange one. He gets science and culture boosts on trade routes to civilizations that are 3 techs or 3 civics ahead of him, which is great if you're Peter and you're lagging behind your rivals, but is moot if you're out in front. Russian cities start with additional tiles, which is a great little bonus helping your empire feel larger quicker, as well as making it possible to work better tiles sooner without having to pay gold for the tiles. They also get bonus faith and production on tundra tiles, as well as units being immune to blizzards, while enemy units receive 100% damage from blizzards in Russian territory if they are at war with Russia. This last bonus is so niche, but also so relatable historically when considering the failed invasions by France in the early 19th century and Germany in the 20th century, whose military advances failed because of their inability to adapt to Russia's harsh winters. Their unique building is the Lavra, which replaces the Holy Site district. I have mixed feelings about this one. Although Eastern Orthodoxy is present and visible in Russia, the nation is not what I would describe as deeply religious. With a strong communist legacy, atheism kinda reigns supreme, even if the country is vast and multicultural and there's a strong sense of religious tolerance. Although it seems odd to give Russia a religious leaning from so ancient a time period, I mean, Russia is not short of ways to set itself apart from other civilizations in any way, scientific, cultural, diplomatic, or economic, that you can imagine. But the Lavra is a great unique district with incredible cultural bonuses for Russia that make it worth building even if you decide not to play a religious game. The bonus to great people points from buildings constructed in the district make them an incredibly strong, great writer, artist, and musician printer from a very early point in the game, long before most civilizations have the means to use their theater districts to the same effect. So, although the Lavra is a holy site district, its real strength does lie in how it can help Russia push toward a culture victory. Russia's unique bonuses make it a great play for any victory type in Civ 6, but the Lavra and its ability to help secure early great people from the cultural end of the great people pantheon set it apart as an S-tier cultural victory Civ. But what is it really like in Russia today? Like I said, I first visited in 2018 during the World Cup and had an amazing time. The usual visa restrictions were waived for anyone who had tickets to the World Cup, and I had 5. That World Cup was a transformative experience for me. Though I had been watching World Cups since Mexico '86, this was the first time where I handed over my hard-earned money for the experience of enjoying the spectacle in the stadium. I saw France's group stage win over Australia and Spain's win over Iran, which were both played in Kazan. I saw Brazil defeat Costa Rica in St. Petersburg. I watched one of the best matches of the whole tournament when Belgium defeated Japan in Rostov in the second round, and then I saw Croatia defeat Russia in penalties in Sochi. Anyone remember that goal by Denis Cheryshev? Believe me, I do. Since then, restrictions have tightened for obvious reasons, and what is frustrating is that I can't use any of my banking cards to pay for anything or to get cash. So for most people not from Russia, I can see visiting being a real challenge. And if you do plan to visit anytime soon, you'll likely have to enter with cash that you can convert into rubles. You'll probably also need to arrange an invitation from a tourism company, have an onward ticket, as well as medical insurance. But I'm lucky because my girlfriend is obviously plugged into the Russian pipeline, and I don't visit like your average tourist. When we visit Moscow, we rent small apartments using local booking applications. There's almost never a need to use cash because every transaction goes through her local banking cards. Moscow is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited. It's an amazing blend of historical with modern vibes. There are beautiful parks, the city is clean, the subway is affordable, efficient, and comprehensive. Moscow is a multicultural city with a lot of tourism and good infrastructure, so you can get everything you could possibly want from a bowl of borscht to a bowl of pho or a blue cheese burger. Russian cuisine is, well, it's not my favorite if you're eating as the Russians do, which is mashed potatoes, puree as they call it, and mayonnaise and sour cream on just about everything. Moscow, like I said, is a modern city with a keener grasp on basic health, so there you can actually see fresh vegetables with all of their color and without all of the white. However, the wider Russian cuisine from the old Soviet republics is quite wonderful and tend to be the preferred cuisines of most modern Russians. Uzbekistani plov, which is rice cooked with meat and vegetables, is a particular favorite. Georgian hachapuri, kind of like cheese pizza but better. Khinkali, which is a meaty brothy dumpling, and shashlik, or grilled meat skewers, are all awesome treats that regularly appear on Russian tables. Other staples that you might find at the Stolovayas, which are basically low-cost cafeterias, are pelmeni, vareniki, and kotelet. Russians also love their jars and anything pickled. Smoky and or dried fish is a real Russian culinary experience, even if it might not be everyone's cup of tea. My girlfriend and I always reserve one night to have smoky, salty fish and grenki with local beer. It's one of my absolute favorite things to do. Speaking of drink, during the World Cup, I drank a half bottle of vodka every day. The stuff is amazing, and most local shops have a whole wall of vodka for sale. I get that not everybody loves vodka, but if you do, Russia has some of the best. I always say it tastes like drinking fresh air. What's strange is that Russians don't drink all that much vodka. It's affordable and it's great quality, but it's not their thing. Well-to-do Russians would rather get their hands on a bottle of wine. The younger generation loves their craft beer, and even the poorest Russians will usually pick up cheap cognac before they bother with the vodka. Believe me, I still don't understand it. Locals, however, do enjoy samogon, which is the local homemade hooch that is similar to vodka, only better and stronger. Now, that stuff is good. You can't really buy samogon anywhere since, by definition, the stuff is homemade, but if a local ever shares their stash with you, consider it a compliment. Nastoyki are distilled spirits flavored with anything from cinnamon to pomegranates or whatever the distiller can imagine. They range from shots of absolute joy and wonder to science experiments that went horribly wrong. Besides having some beautiful cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, Rostov, Nizhny Novgorod, Kirov, and others, Russia has a vast countryside made up of small villages that, though they are dying, still lead a traditional rural life. My girlfriend's mother comes from one of these small villages of less than 100 people, where her cousin is a dairy farmer. During every visit to Russia, we visit for a night to collect fresh smetana, straight from the cow, which is possibly the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. When you taste it, you realize that everyone you know in modern society has never tasted real milk and doesn't know what it actually tastes like. We also collect ghee, which again just makes everything you cook taste more delicious. We also wander off into the forest to collect mushrooms. Visits to these villages are an experience even many Russians never have. There are two features of Russian society that I find Russians value most and that set them apart from folks in other countries that I have visited. They are the dacha and the banya. The role of the dacha has evolved since the 16th century since they were first introduced. Through history, depending on the state of society, they have served as luxurious summer homes for the wealthy elite to modest crop-producing plots of land for urban Russians needing to grow their own food and be self-sufficient during deficit times. Today, Russians treat their dacha however they want, and my girlfriend's mother, for instance, as well as most folks of her generation, use their dacha to grow potatoes and other vegetables, and she has a storeroom full of jars of food that could feed her and her family for 10 years. Younger generations use their dacha more as an escape from city life, where they throw weekend parties and eat and drink with family and friends. Were I designing a Civ game and wanted to give Russia its own unique flavor, I might design a unique rural dacha tile improvement that had the ability to change its bonus yields, giving players playing as Russia extra flexibility in the yields those improvements generate given how they feel about the times they are living in. For example, during peace times, the yields could flip from +1 culture and +1 happiness on tiles working a dacha improvement. During war, if a player chose, perhaps they could switch the bonus to +1 food and +1 production on tiles working a dacha improvement. Something like that. Finally, there is the banya. Few people on Earth take bathing so seriously as the Russians. Although modern apartments and houses all have modern plumbing and showers, there is a tradition in Russia of bathing in the old banya. It is a small house, usually separated from the main house, with its own pechka, which is a wood-burning stove. Water is gathered from the well and heated by the stove to create steam. When we use the banya, the process is done in a few phases. The first is just to have a hot steam, as you would in any sauna. During the second phase, we slap each other with the venik, which is made from a bundle of usually birch branches. The venik plays a number of roles during the banya. It not only provides a light massage and improves circulation, but it strategically distributes steam over the body, provides aromatherapy, and is a symbolic cleansing act that is central to the bathing ritual. The final phase is a steam wash with soap and shampoo, and then a final rinse with cold water to wake the body and close all of those pores. I hope one day everyone can get along, and anyone watching this video that isn't from Russia can go and visit with ease. It's an amazing country that has contributed so much to history and modern society. Russia is such a vast and diverse country that it has rightfully earned its permanent spot as part of the Civilization series. I hope you enjoy playing as Russia in Civ 6 or any Civ game. And if you have any questions about visiting Russia, or anywhere else for that matter, ask anytime or leave a comment down below. And remember to occasionally stop playing and make your own story, your own amazing path through history. And I'll see you next time.